Morning, guys. I hope you're well. I had a bit of a roll yesterday or the day before on videos on narcissism, and I've had some response and feedback from my community regarding them. I'm going to be brutally honest. When I first recorded them and posted them, I was a little apprehensive for them to go live for the world to see, because they are based on personal various experiences over my lifetime, and they're not directed at any one individual. As I said with a little bit of a chuckle the other day, there's a list. But I expect when you get to 48, you do have a bit of a box set of life experience, don't you? The reason and the motivation for posting those videos and the subsequent ones that I am going to post is that I've got to a point in my life and I know that things need to change. But in order for things to change, they need to heal. And in order for them to heal, they need to be recognised, processed, unpicked, unpacked, and let go. Now, as you know, I'm a single parent with 3 kids and a dog. I don't have any family. I do live a very solitary lifestyle, so I spend a lot of time on my own. I do have a very, very close-knit community of friends, and I'm very well known in the small town that I live in. But apart from that, it's me in my head or my foolish heart sometimes. So I want to speak to you honestly and authentically and from the heart about the process of healing. Narcissism and other toxicity and other disappointments in life, they stay with you, whatever they are, but they all need healing. Now, one person's healing is not greater than the next's. It doesn't matter what has actually happened to you. If the effect and the heartbreak is the same, it's valid. And to downgrade anybody's heartache, upset, bereavement, abuse experience is quite frankly disgusting and not acceptable. There's a lot of taboos in this life and there's a lot of repression, and we talk about the world progressing, but if you unpick it authentically, it hasn't really very much at all. I'm not going to get into gender wars and religion and things like that because it's fruitless and it's not what I'm here for. But I do want to talk to you about, in my experience, the things that I've learned and I'm learning. When you face any kind of bereavement, be it the loss of a long-term friendship, the falling out with a family member, the death of a family member or a friend, the ending of a romantic relationship, there is always a period of bereavement, even if you were the one to call time. Okay, there is a period of processing, evaluation and bereavement, and then deciding where you're going to go from there. When it's been an abusive situation and it's caused you pain, even things that harm you when they end can really hurt you. Some of you know it as a trauma bond. Whatever you want to label it, if you've lived it, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. You go through weeks and weeks of being okay. There are moments of joy. There are moments of laughter and happiness. There are moments of immense relief. And it's a time to decompress and unravel. There are moments of feeling quite blessed because you got out of it. But then you go through a period and you feel like you're regressing, but what I want to say to you is you are not. Sometimes you can get blindsided. It doesn't even need to be anything. You don't even see them. You don't even think about them. Sometimes it's just unwanted thoughts, memories or flashbacks, or just the whole energetic feeling of how that situation made you feel, can make you feel like it's taking you back and you're regressing. And after weeks, sometimes months, sometimes years, of being okay, of being good, of being on the road to recovery, of feeling positive and optimistic and hopeful, you can just, it can be anything. You can wake up in the morning or just something comes over you and you feel like you do in the few days after it first occurred, and you're back down that hole. And there's snotty tears, so much you can't see, you can't breathe, and that lump in your throat won't allow food to pass through. And the listless feeling and the exhaustion and the constant battle of holding it together whilst you have to perform your duties and tasks as an adult and a parent. And the striving to get to a time where you can just cry out again. More often than not, it's not the individual that you are crying for. You don't miss them, you don't love them, but it's like the stark reality of what was done to you and how it made you feel cuts you all over again. It's bloody cruel, really. Sometimes, I often question, as you know, I'm a witch, I work with the stars, I work with the universe, I work with the divine, and I speak to source quite a lot, meditate an awful lot. It's what keeps you balanced, but and I often say, are you trying to make sure I'm not still stupid? Because I don't hold any reminiscence or hankering for that situation. Why are you bringing it back to stab me again? It's like it's come for a rerun, but without the physical energy there. And it's I've just seen 707, and it's cruel. But I often wonder, is it necessary? Is it necessary for our healing? Is it a strengthening tactic? It's a bit of a twisted one, but is it? Is it a tactic where each time you relapse, so to speak, you deal with it better? Is this elevation, progression in your healing? Just to check, a bit like an exam, ask the same question but worded differently to see if you actually really know it or you just know it by rote. So that's a question I have, and a question I think we've probably all asked ourselves. Some people, in moments like that, relent and go back to that energy and they start the cycle again. A lot of us can get caught that way. But I can tell you this from experience, don't. Feel it. When I say you've got to feel it to heal it, it sounds really a cliche, but God is true. Just because you're thirsty, don't drink the poison. Yeah. You need a hot tea, not a cup of poison. Just wait for that kettle to boil, metaphorically speaking. So go within, document it, speak to source, ask the question, speak to your close friends if you're able to. Journal, write it. I can't stress enough. Please, 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 please journal it. Because a year from now, 2, 3, 5 years from now, 6 months from now, what have you, depending on your individual situation, you'll read back and you'll be glad that you didn't relent. You'll be glad that and proud of how you dealt with it and how you dealt with yourself, how you held yourself, carried yourself, and listened for the guidance with clear channels. Relapses are tough in anything, in relationships, in addictions, in anything, but you really must hold. Those of you that know me personally are also aware that I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've not had a drink for 7 years. Not a violent, nasty alcoholic, but a morose, dependable one. When you're raising 3 children, that's not good. Alcohol can have a real grip of you, as well as drugs and other addictions and toxicities that some of us possess to fill a gap that wasn't filled at some stage in our lives. And in times of difficulty, when you've spent that long clean, sometimes the pull to go back can be so strong, you can almost taste it. It can be within seconds sometimes. But I can tell you this as well. As someone who is 7 years and almost 2 months sober, I can tell you, 7 years and 2 months, hang in there. It's been a close one for me at times. Especially when you go into the supermarket to buy your children's groceries, and they're everywhere, on order, on special order, and they're in the, they weave the alcohol deals into the breads. They weave it at the end of the dog food aisle. It's everywhere. So when your temptation is everywhere and you're at your weakest, hang in there. Hang in there. Stay with yourself. Journal. If you have to lock yourself away and speak to a camera like this now to hear, do it. Do what it takes. But sit with yourself. Stay with yourself. Stay in the lane that you were just before this tsunami of cruelty hitting you again. It's not a relapse, although it bloody feels like it. I think it's a reaffirmation of your strength and your healing progress. Look at it like that. Don't look at it at a moment of weakness or a moment of maybe I got it wrong, maybe I do love them, they do love me, yeah. Remember the disrespect, remember the disregard, and remember the discard. They weren't mistakes, they weren't misunderstandings, they were meant behaviour. When someone says something to you in anger, and they say it repeatedly to you every time they get angry, it's not just because they're angry, it's who they are, it's what they mean. It's that anger that gives them the freedom to be completely and abundantly honest with you about how they feel about you. So if someone says I was drunk or I was angry and is nice to you for a few weeks and then they get drunk or angry again and say it again, it's not a mistake. It's not a misunderstanding. They're showing you who they are. Take heed of that. There's going to be lots of these, I think, because as they come to me, they need out. And as part of my healing, they need out. On March the 7th, Saturn goes into Pisces direct. It's ending a 30-year karmic cycle. My goodness, what a 30 years it's been. I do believe that truths and lessons will be brought to the forefront. And if your ass is due a spanking, it will get it. Karma has a very, very long memory. Karma will deal everything. And if you own your truths and be authentic and honest about who and what you are, karma will respond. There's no good being honest 1 week because you're worried about what karma can do. Karma is not a fool. Do not disrespect them. Karma is a very patient energy indeed, and karma sees all. And karma knows what you're going to do next by your energy, vibration and intention. Even if you're not admitting it to yourself, karma knows. That applies to every one of us. No one is exempt. So your relapses are reaffirmations of your strength and your journey. As unpleasant and as seemingly cruel as they may be, hang in there. Know you got this. I'm going to talk about other red flags in another video soon because I get quite a lot of downloads when I'm driving and they need out. This morning in the tween stage, you know I'm an intuitive as well. I get a lot of messages from source sent to me directly. I keep a dream diary and I document a lot of things. When I look back at the moment, my success rate is 100% in what I'm being given in dreams, and it's happening within the month and it's quite stark, sometimes within hours. When I dream things I don't want to dream, I get quite worried because I know it's coming and I've not been wrong, especially in the last month I've not been wrong. So the last couple of months certainly, the last week actually. But this morning in my tween stage I was given 3 words and I think they apply to the collective. And the words I was given, and I saw them on a piece of paper in black ink, every truth wins. Every truth wins. Real truth. Every truth wins. That's my thought for today. Give that a thought, process that. I don't know where that come from. I'm not quite sure what that means, but it was definitely meant to be said to me. And I think for me to spread to you all to understand that every truth wins. You can win at life and you can win with yourself. Cut yourself some slack, but don't go back. Until the next time, if you're still here, thank you so much for gifting me your time. I really do appreciate it. And I'm blessed to have you. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe. Share me far and wide. And I'll catch up with you shortly. Thanks again. Bye.